All right, all you ruffians. All right, PTSD. Let's talk about it. The reason why I want to talk about it is because I was diagnosed with PTSD. Now, let's get this straight. I am a United States Army veteran. I was in during the Gulf War, but I did not go across the water. I stayed stateside, so I'm a war veteran. I was in from 88 to 91. I was stationed at, I went to Fort Dix. That's where I did my basic training in AIT. And then I was shipped off to Germany, Darmstadt, Germany, and Frankfurt. Close to Frankfurt, about 20 minutes west of Frankfurt, I believe. And then I was a part of Big Red 1, which is Fort Riley, Kansas. I think it's the third largest fort. And I was a 94B, which has changed, which is food service. And yeah, so I watched, the big tanks roll out and all that other good stuff. And when Fort Riley was called to go and, do the service. Now, I saw a lot of stuff happening. Here's one thing about being a soldier. It's one thing you gotta know. When the military rolls out somewhere and you are stateside, you're not a part of the fighting, but you are still one. You're still one unit. So whatever is going on over there, it can still affect what's going on with you because part of your company is probably detached and going over there to fight. And part of my company was. I belonged to an MP unit, or I was attached to an MP unit. Now, there's a lot of things that go on the forts that can mess with you, especially during wartime, when there's a declaration of war signed. Not when we're just going and invading somebody, when we're going to purposely go over there and stop something. What's going on? We're going over there to purposely do something, not when we're just patrolling. When there is a declaration of war signed, like the first George Bush did, then you're all at war. If you're stateside, you're at war. No matter where you're at war. Even if it's not even in the country. If you're in Germany and you go to war in Afghanistan, if your company is, has an attachment over there, guess what? You're at war. You are at war. They can actually deploy you just like that if they need to. Okay, even if you're far behind enemy lines, which I would have been, nonetheless, you still have the same basic training everybody else does. So you know how to, get it together with an M16 and protect yourself. So know this. Now, people, so basic training is set up to make you into a soldier. Your whole life, your whole military life is conditioning you to constantly be able to defend the country. That's it, and that's all. Whether it's constant training, whether it's going to college, which is an actual privilege, or whether it's military training that's sitting in an office somewhere, they constantly encourage you to get smarter. They constantly encourage you to stay in shape. They encourage you to get educated in the job that you have, to get more educated even after your AIT. So this is your initial training that you go to. They constantly have these books that are out for you to get for you to upgrade yourself. So when you first get into the military, you start off as an E1. Once you get out of basic training and out of AIT, depends on what your basic training is. If your basic training uses 6 months, your AIT can be from 6 months to 2 years. Depends on what you're in for. Once you get out of that, you become an E2. A year into that, you go into E3. So you get your E3 pretty quick. It's the E4 that kind of, it's about 2 years pretty much 2.5 years in, before your first term is over, before your first 3 years, now it's 4 years, but before your first 3 years is over, you become an E4. Now, if you are one of those people who are attached to a unit and that unit needs a corporal instead of a specialist, that's what they do. They make you an NCO. Okay? A corporal and a specialist is the same rank, but one of them is an NCO, which is a non-commissioned officer. All right. So I'm giving you this information because when you enter into the military, it is not what you think until you get there. People can talk about what it's like and all that. Until you see it and experience it for yourself, you don't know how you're going to react. Now, you can, when we start going on marches, we march early in the morning. At 4 o'clock in the morning, you're in formation. Remember the commercial that says, we do more before 9 o'clock than most people do all day? That is an understatement. When 9 o'clock comes, we are sitting down for lunch pretty much. I kid you not. I kid you not. Half our day is already over when 9 o'clock hits. Because you have to get up, get in formation, get your area squared away, get in formation, and march to breakfast by 5 o'clock. Like, all this has to be done. And we're talking about a whole company, okay? And then a whole battalion has to be fed by a certain amount of time. This is men and the women. These are thousands and thousands and thousands of soldiers have to be in and out of those mess halls in a certain amount of time. So you don't sit there and talk. You golf, you eat like this, and then and it's time to go. Some of your food is still there. So you're going through your day hungry. This happens a lot because when you get in, you think that it's leisure, and it's not. You don't know how to eat until you don't know how to eat military style until you actually get in and start eating like a damn pig. You think it's like prison or something. No. It's different because nobody's going to take your food. Your food's going to be, it's time for you to leave. Your food's not getting taken away. You're getting taken away. It's time to go. You got to get back information. And when you get back information, you're going out in the cold. You're fully dressed. BDUs, rucksack, M16, in formation, ready to go. Looking like, the 501st off of Star Wars. That's real stuff. You are regimented and you're ready to go. Once the DIs come out, they call it, they go company, and then the squad leaders say squad, boom, they hit it. Okay, company, squad. You'll hear 4 guys say squad. Each of them are squad leaders. So you might have 4 squads to your company. Company, squad, boom, hit it. It's time to go. Attention, snap. Once they come to a snap, right face, boom, hit the right face or left face. It's usually, it depends on where you're going. Boom, you start marching. You might have a 7.5 mile march. You got to get it. Then they will call somebody's name. Out. And sometimes they called mine because I can sing. And they'll go, pow. Yes, drill sergeant. Sing cadence. And I'll start singing. Now, I'm saying all this to say, your life changes. And it's very, very stressful. It's a very, very stressful situation. It gets stressful really quick. And if you're not used to it, you will crumble. Let me read this real quick. It looks like you listed this item over 2 weeks ago. Have you sold it yet? No, I have not. So you can crumble. I've seen people crumble. I've seen people crumble under the pressure of being in the service. I've seen people fall apart. I've seen people literally just boom. boom, right in formation. You see people just go down because they don't know how to stand right. They lock their knees, and the blood flow from standing in formation so long gets cut off when your knees are locked in your brain, and you get dizzy, and boom. I seen a guy chip his whole tooth like that. You've seen people when it's time to go for bivouac, big old strong guys cannot make that 20-mile march. It is stressful. You see little guys. We had a little guy who was holding our flag, for our unit, and he was struggling with that flag, and we were like, yo, you need some help? He was like, no, I'm gonna hold this flag. And I'm in the military. I'm in all day. Let's go. That was his attitude. So it is not a picnic. It is not a picnic whatsoever. And there are people who crumble, and they pretty much, get kicked out because they cannot help it. So the military starts off stressful. It is not made for everyone. Let's get this. I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how fast you are. If you can't take orders, from a guy who just got in there like you did, and now he's your squad leader, you can't take orders from him, then guess what? He answers to the DI. The DI is going to come out and handle you. And they're going to get in your face, and they're going to make you do push-ups all day, and you're going to miss breakfast. And you want to talk about angry. It'll get to you. You're going to want to hit that DI. And guess what? You're going to get court-martialed, and they're going to kick you out, or they'll put you in jail. Like, it gets bad real quick if you're one of them attitudinal people who just you don't know how to act when it comes to the military. It is a stressful situation. Now, let me answer this. Now, how do you know you have PTSD? Is this available? I'm going to tell you one way you know you have PTSD. And I don't mean to self-diagnose, but I've been diagnosed with PTSD. Here's one way you know you have PTSD. Here's one way you know you have PTSD. Because your ability to work around people, and like I said, I do not have a degree. I'm not a psychologist. I have a degree in healthcare, but I'm not a psychologist. But your ability to work like normal people, and normal is an operative word, but nonetheless, the things you used to do, you can't do. You can't sit still. Your mind is going through. Some people call it ADD, but you didn't have this until you experienced the military. Something happened to you when you got in, and it broke you. You know what I'm saying? It did something to you. When it happened to you, you changed. Your mindset changed. And your mindset's going to change when you get into the military, but little things can tick you off. They can bring you from a calm to a raging sea in a heartbeat. The way you mentally function, you don't want to be around certain people. You just don't want to be around people. You'll find a lot of people that have PTSD are like that. They don't necessarily want to be around people, especially people that they don't know. They're not comfortable. They look for areas to be by themselves, or they look for jobs where they're by themselves. You know what I'm saying? So they're functioning, but nonetheless, they want to kind of stay away from just people. They just want you to give them their job, and then they go off on their own. They might have some other issues like anger issues. You'll find people with PTSD they might have some anger issues, or just it may look like I said, it'll look like OCD or something like that. But no, this did not happen to them at birth. This happened to them when they had something stressful. They went through a stressful situation, and the military is a stressful situation. It is not comfortable. So it is a stressful situation, and it's meant to be stressful because war is stressful. So you have to understand how people get diagnosed with PTSD. Now, when I was diagnosed, I've been out the Army for 30 years, but I noticed that I kept having problems while I was trying to get a job. People didn't want to be around me. I didn't want to be around them. I kept getting fired, and just fired. You're fired. You're fired. And I was like, what's wrong with me? Why am I constantly getting fired? And then it got to the point where I just was like, I don't want to work in these places anymore. Like, I look for jobs now where I can maybe be a part of an establishment, but I don't want to see your face. I want you to tell me what to do, and then I go on and do it, and you pay me for it. Like an investigator or something. I don't want to sit up there and chat with you. I want you to tell me exactly what you want me to do, or you give it to me in writing, or whatever it is. I take it, I read it, and I go out and do it. I love that stuff. That I can do. And there are a lot of people who are like that, just like I don't want to sit in an office and Sally and Michael is sitting there talking shop. I don't want to look at Sally and Michael. I don't have nothing against them. It's just that it's only a matter of time before they say something about me. I'm just gonna lose it. Me and Mike is just gonna, we're gonna go at it, and that's it. And if Mike doesn't back down, we're gonna see what Mike can do. There's a good chance Mike can scrap. So we just gonna have fun. Okay, and then what happens? Somebody's going to jail, somebody's losing their job. You don't want that. So these situations are gonna happen with you because it's easy for you to just go there. So, when it comes to my diagnosis, the doctor, female doctor, she, of course, dug in, psychologist or whatever, she dug into my past, and she was like, you have PTSD. And I didn't even know she diagnosed me with PTSD, until she told me. And I said, do I have PTSD? She was like, yeah, I diagnosed you already. And I had been seeing her for 2 weeks. She had already diagnosed me, and I didn't even know it. I said, well, you should put it in my notes. She's like, I already did. So some of that is because of the military. Now, the military is not going to take fault for that, because they're going to look back and look at my military career and go, well, he didn't go across the water. No, but I was there when some of those guys who went across the water came home and started killing their wives. Oh, I was there. I was in the barracks right next to the one with a Marine dude came in and blew his wife away. At least he thought. He thought he killed her. He went into a room. She was like, "Who's in here?" Boom. He busted a cap in her, hit her in the shoulder, left, and he killed himself, and she's still alive. Oh, I was there when the wives were cheating on husbands, and the husbands came home and started chasing them through the streets and just killing them in front of their friends. Oh, I was there. I was there when the barracks were going nuts and MPs were acting the damn fool, and and some of those guys were coming home crazy. Oh, I was there. I was part of that program. So you can, even when I was in Germany, there was a woman who decided to go out and kill a German. She just went and cut his neck from here to here. Just, that was it. And went and came back into the barracks where we were, because we all lived in the same barracks, and went and told her roommate that she just killed someone. So you can't say that I haven't been through any stressful situations, because if you're in the military, it's a good chance you might go through a stressful situation. And it might just be around you. The guy I worked with killed his friend in a car crash. His name was DeFlitch. You know what I'm saying? He just killed his friend. Boom, car crash. Smashed the whole side of the car, hit a tree. Boom, his friend was demolished. So I was around a lot of stressful situations, and it just doesn't take much. Especially when you go to Paragon Trails, you'll see people who are climbing up under the barbed wire, and there's M50s going over your head, and they're shooting rounds and boom and all this other stuff in the middle of that. You see people who are stuck in the sand and they cannot move. They've reached muscle failure. This is what you would think, but that isn't what happened to them. Their mind cannot comprehend war. They can't. And once fatigue sets in, they're just there. They're waiting until mentally they can get their mind together, to get their body together, to crawl off from under the barbed wire. And I've seen this. I've actually rescued a dude. You think this is Paragon Trails, this is not war. That dude was finished. He could not move. He was just laying there. And he didn't like me very much. But I was the last person in my squad. I was bringing up the rear. He was one of the people in front of me. You know, of course, if I'm the last person in a 12-man squad, I think a 14-man, I'm bringing up the rear, which means I'm running backwards to see if anybody's coming up on us. And all you can see in front of you are cat's eyes. Cat's eyes they're a part of your helmet, but there's this little strip that has these two glow-in-the-dark strips on the back of your helmet, and they're meant just for that. So the person in back of you can see you in the middle of the night. Well, once you come out of the woods in Paragon Trails, you hit an area where everything is lit up and there's noise and there's live fire going up over your head, and you have to drop and low crawl. And some people they were just finished. He was one of them. So that was an obvious too stressful of an area for that dude. If that was real wartime, we would have been stuck there. I mean, I would have had to help him because that's my job. I would have had to find a way to get him out of there while we're being shot at. So there are very stressful situations that are in the military. And of course, just military life itself, people getting on your nerves, people trying to throw you in the brig. There is a lot of that going on too. You get a lot of people who are trying to take advantage of their rank. You know, all of a sudden they're E5s, they become a sergeant. Now they're BMOC trying to talk down to the E3s and the E4s. You get a lot of that, you know. I was almost put in prison for my captain just because he was an asshole. Okay, so he was on my ass even when I got out of the military. If I stepped on that base, he told his MPs to arrest me. So you got to understand there are a lot of stressful situations in the military, and a lot of them can result in being, angry. You know, it messed with you. When you're in the military, they make you a soldier. Now, some people take that to the hilt. They take that all the way, like the Army taught me to kill. I'm going to go out and kill. Let's get this straight. The Army teaches you to kill. That's it. That's all. They don't teach you to throw grenades at, stuffed animals. They teach you to blow people up. They teach you how to do it with a landmine, with a grenade, with an M16, with a bazooka, with a knife, and with your hands. These are all the weapons the Army has accessible or makes accessible to you, and they train you to kill people. If you are not a killer before you go into the military, guess what you are when you come out? You are a killer. You know how to say backblast area all clear when you're holding a bazooka. And you know how to take out a tank with a bazooka. You know how to aim right. You know exactly where to aim at on that tank and take out the latching wheel on it to make that chain fall apart so that tank can't move. You know how to take an M16 and fire it, and even if you're out of range, you know where to hit it on the ground to make that bullet skip and hit that target. You can hit the ground, and that bullet will come and it'll skip, hit the ground, and come up and hit the target. Like there's all kind of tricks they teach you in order, to get the job done. You are a killer. They teach you how to use a knife and where to take somebody out with that knife. They teach you how to use your scepter hand and all this, and how to, hit toss somebody and all this. They train you to fight. They train you to kill. Let's not get that twisted. So some of that can mess with you. It changes you. This is not something that you forget. I can still see when I was in the military. It's just not, look, that was 30-something years ago. Okay? I can still remember a lot of it like it was yesterday. All right? They teach you how to use a gas mask. They teach you how to be familiar with radiation and things that will take you out of this world really quickly. So a lot of these situations are stressful and it affects people in different ways. Some people are just not made for it. So this can cause you to be, very stressful, post-traumatic stress. And of course, military life itself. So when I was diagnosed with PTSD, as a matter of fact, it was the second time. The first time, I was told you do not have PTSD. Well, she didn't dig into my past, but this doctor actually looked into my past. She didn't only look at my military life. She looked at my past work life, my past interaction with people, the way I live right now. And she's like, you definitely have PTSD because normal people just they don't live like you do. You're comfortable being by yourself. You really, your phone doesn't ring. You don't go seek out company. I'm one of those people where I can only be around people for a certain amount of time before it's like, I'm going to go find a hole in the wall. And I'm cool. And, you got some work for me to do. Give me an office where I'm by myself. And I will get down with the get down. And you need to give me more than one thing to do. Because my attention span is very short. But if I have 3 things that need to be done, I can get all 3 things done at once. And like I said, some people say, oh, this is some type of something with your childhood. No, a lot of times you don't develop a lot of these habits until you get out the military, because the military, when you're working in the military, I was a cook, right? When they teach you how to cook in your AIT, you have a card that is governed by the military, and it has everything it has the meal, it has everything that's supposed to be, that goes with the meal, and how the meal is cooked. If you step outside of that, you can get an Article 15, which is punished, okay? Not unless you have permission from your first sergeant, all right? So you look at it and you cook everything according to the SOP, standard operating procedures. You cook everything according to that. If you step outside of that, you can be in trouble. So you have to read this whole thing, yada, yada, yada. Now, when they put you on starches, you have to have 2 starches. When they put you on meats, there's usually 2 meats. When they put you on desserts, you got a bunch of desserts, so on and so forth. So let's just say that they put you on meats. You have the most responsibility out of everybody. So let's just say you're having Cornish. No, let's just say you're having chicken. You're having pineapple chicken. There is such a thing in the military. You're having pineapple chicken and you're having roast beef. If you're having pineapple chicken and you work on a base that has thousands of soldiers and they come to one mess hall, guess how many people that you're feeding? Just you. You're feeding all those people that are going to come into that mess hall. And it's a good chance, if it's dinner time, the majority of those people are coming into the mess hall. And you can run out of food. So you need to have a backup somewhere. So you got your 2 meats. There needs to be a backup somewhere because you might run out of food. All right? Everybody knows what's going to be eaten. There's usually some type of information. So they know what, the food that's going to be there. So you come in, they're like, pal, you're on meats. You're like, boom, okay, I got it. They hand you the FOP. You have your little meeting, boom, you go out and you see what meats that you're doing. You automatically go towards your ingredients. Now, understand this. When you're on an assignment, you are doing more than one thing. Your timing has to be impeccable. And this is something that has to be learned. You have to take your chickens, you have to take your chickens. They're already thawed out, so you ain't got to worry about that. You might have 30 chickens that you have to cut up. Those chickens might be quartered. You might have to quarter the chicken. Usually that's what you do. You're going to have to quarter those chickens. So you're going to have yourself a steak knife, a boning knife, or you're going to have 2 steak knives, a boning knife, and you're going to have yourself a wet rock. And then, of course, you got your meatloaf. So you got to take your, that out and get that ready, and you have to clean as you go. In other words, what I'm trying to say is you have to do more than one thing at once. And you have to get good at it because it's timing. Everything is down to a time, and this is military time. So this isn't your Aunt Betty's kitchen where everything is, whimsical. This is punishment if you don't get this right. You are under a time constraint that you will pay for if you mess it up. You will definitely pay for it. And sometimes you can pay out of pocket, and it can get worse than that. Okay? So, yeah, you have to be good at your job. Once you get out the military, what you learned does not stop. What you learned does not stop. Now, like I said, these attributes that you picked up when you're in the military, of course, you can use when you're outside of the military. But you learn those attributes under a stressful environment. It's not like going to college. It's a lot different from that because there is punishment if you mess it up. You see what I'm saying? This can cause you to be stressed out. And when you're a cook, you get stressed out quickly, especially during breakfast. You get stressed out quickly if somebody in your shift doesn't show up because they have to go to a doctor's appointment. That doctor's appointment's mandatory. There's nothing you can do about it. If you need 6 people and only 4 people show up, you guys still have to make that work. So you have to get things done. And the soldiers who are coming in, they don't understand your position. All they know is that they're hungry. If you're cooking eggs and there's eggs every morning, you're cracking hundreds and hundreds of eggs to feed these people. And that's just it. And if you're cooking and you have 2 grills, usually about this big, just like something at McDonald's. You see them flipping burgers, except you're doing it with eggs. And it's a lot cleaner because you have to clean as you go. So what happened is the people will get in line and they'll come down the line and you'll see them line up and they'll scoot the tray along. And once they get down to this end right here, they will stop. So there'll be about 7 or 8 people that's in front of you. So what you'll do is you'll have them call out what they want. And they'll go, eggs, and you always cook them 2 eggs. So, or they'll say omelets. Now, if they want omelets, now you already have omelets that are cooking. All right. Some people have special orders. They'll say eggs over 2 eggs soft, over easy. They'll say 2 eggs over hard. So you start lining it up. Boom, boom, boom. You're listening to what everybody says, and it gets to the point where you don't even have to watch them. You can just listen what they say. Eggs over hard, eggs over easy, 2 eggs scrambled with cheese, a Mexican omelet, an omelet with cheese, a ham and cheese omelet, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, your whole grill is filled. And you got like 30 orders on the grill. And you start 1, 2, and it's like clockwork. These are just things that you don't forget. You know how to get down with the get down. And you can knock all of them out, clean up your board, and get ready for the next 10, 20 people in a split second. And this is how it works. It's just clockwork. It's get yourself another boom. You might have to have more than 1 spatula. Have yourself 2 spatulas. Boom, get them. Bum, 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 bum. Get yourself plates. Have 2 plates at once. Over easy, over hard, over easy, over hard. Scrambled with cheese, scrambled with no cheese, boom, boom. Mexican omelet, cheese omelet, boom, boom. Ham and cheese omelet, scrambled easy, boom, boom. So, like I said, it can get stressful. It can get stressful because, like I said, it's all under time. But PTSD can set in after military life. So I wanted to talk about that because, for one, I know somebody in the military is going to jump on here and they're going to say, I understand exactly what you're saying. This message isn't for everyone, but it's basically for military and non-military. But if you think you have PTSD, if you find yourself struggling to function like you used to function, go and talk to a therapist. Go and sit down with some kind of doctor somewhere who handles it. I don't know the exact names, but who handles it. And if you find that you think that PTSD is your problem because you're not functioning the same as you used to, then you can get help for that. That's what I'm saying. And one reason why I'm making this is because last week, about 4 days ago, I walked into the gym, Planet Fitness, and there was this girl in there, and there were two guys and another girl. There were other people in there working out, but these were the staff. And the girl wanted me, and I said, I don't have the little thing to, go beep, and then you walk in. I said, so you have to use my number. And she was like, well, we're no longer using numbers. You're going to have to download it and into your phone. And I was like, well, I really don't want to download it into my app. Well, sir, you're going to have to, and I was like, you're giving me a lot of energy. You giving me this is like a lot of negative energy. Like, are you all right? She was like, I'm fine. And I was just like, I don't know what your problem is, but, you need to go ahead and chill out. Well, sir, I'm just telling you that. And then it took off from there. And, me, it just didn't take long till I was ready to wring that little girl's neck. Like I just came in and, listen, not everybody has an iPhone 50. Not everybody wants to download all that stuff into it. Especially if you've been coming there for 10 years, the same place for 10 years. You just want it to be simple. I know you got to change with the times, but if I come in there 3 times a freaking week, I'm in there all the time. Can't you just take my number? She just didn't want to take my number, and I was just in there a day ago. Came in the same thing. I no longer have a tag. It's okay, so we can take your number. Boom! That's it. Can you just take my number and you can see who I am? Boom, took my number. Boom. No, she wants to be, high on the hog. I was like, are you the manager? She was like, yeah, I'm the manager. And why are you giving me attitude? I've been coming in here and I lost it. They had to calm me down. Because, she was serving me attitude for nothing. And they were like, bro, you in here tweaking over a number. I said, I'm tweaking. I'm upset because I come in here all the time. And all I asked was, can you take down my number so I can go ahead and, because I get my back dead. I lay on the bed, my back hurts. That's all I wanted. And I got to get served all this attitude. And I just had it. And, and I lost it. So I'm like, I don't need to, be coming in here. Maybe it's me, but this, she's serving me attitude, and I was ready to walk through all of them just to, and that's not me. That's not what I am. You know what I mean? I'm too old for that, for one, and for two, it's just not that serious. But, just the way she challenged me, like, I'm the manager. Yeah. I'm sick of these young people with their, snarky attitudes and think they're just going to talk to people any old kind of way. And when you're not valuing the customer, I'm not trying to say that I'm right. I'm just trying to say, look, it's a simple process. You guys changed the way you do business. Instead of having your Planet Fitness little black card, coming and tagging it and then walking in, which is a lot easier, you want everybody to download an app just to be fancy. Everybody wants to download an app you go to the gym once or twice a week. It's not that serious to everyone. It's just easier to just boop, and okay, so you don't have one, so we can use your phone number. What was wrong with her taking my phone number? Okay, well, can you just take your phone? Well, we're not taking any more. You're not taking, I was just in here yesterday. We're not taking any more, and that's why I lost it. That's why I got upset. I was just in here, and the regular employees saw me in here, and I came in here yesterday and was like, look, same issue. I no longer have one of these little cards. They was like, it's cool, bro. We'll just take your number. Boom, boom, boom. There you are. Go ahead about your day. What if somebody? Yeah. What if somebody forgets their phone? That's what I'm saying. And then I don't understand how you're just gonna go. Well, we're not taking phone numbers anymore. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 computers there. There are 5 employees standing there. 5 of you. What's wrong with somebody taking my number and just going boop 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 boop? There you go. Go on in and enjoy what you pay for every month. I'm confused. I'm and it I just man I was ready. And the thing about it was the one guy, this one big swole guy, he was like, yo, sir, just calm down. He tapped me on the shoulder. I was like, don't touch me again. But the thing about it is he knew I wasn't mad at him. But he wasn't about to let me come across that counter and wring this little girl's neck. You know what I'm saying? But him and the young dude want to act like he want to jump at. And I was like, I said, listen, young man, don't ever act like you want to put your hands on me, because it's going to be a bad day for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not even a challenge for me. Your speed is one thing, but once I catch you, you are not a challenge for me whatsoever. Every member of info is in their system, so she definitely was. Exactly. And I don't understand, just because you're the manager, you're going to make up this arbitrary rule that we are no longer taking phone numbers. How messed up is that? I mean, I got half a mind to call the damn owner. And then she was talking about, you're going to get canceled. I'm like, she said that, man, I slapped the dang computer. I'm just like, I don't give a, you gonna cancel me, lady? I've been coming here for the longest time. All you had to do is take my number. Why give me flack? And I don't bother anyone. I don't bother no one. I don't say nothing to the women folk. I don't bother nobody. I do my little workout. I'm not even in there that long. I come in and do the chair thing, and the bed is really what I'm there for. That's what I'm paying for. I hit the bed because I need it for my back. I might do a little working out there, but that isn't where I get my workouts in too much. My workouts I do at Crunch. That's where the big boys are. So I like to go up there and lift, and see how I'm doing according to whoever's in there. You got some people in there a lot stronger than me. You got some guys in there who are a lot younger than me, and I'm stronger than them. So in my eyes, I'm keeping up. That's what I need. You know what I'm saying? Planet Fitness is okay, but it's the bed that I'm really there for. When I go to Crunch, I'm there to compete. I don't say anything to nobody, but I'm competing against them, and I know that's what I'm doing, and that's fine because it keeps me strong. You know what I'm saying? When I put some weight on that bench, I'm just like, I know that the majority of guys in here are not going to put 315 on this bench and crank it twice. I know this. I've been coming here long enough, and I know the guys who can get on there and crank it 10 times. But I know the majority of guys are not going to get on here and crank this, 3-4 times like I can. I just know that they can't. And I know that I'm stronger than them. And that's fine with me because I'm not there to, per se, I'm stronger than you, but it keeps me in a competitive form, in a humble competitive form now. Because you will see somebody who's just a lot stronger than you walk in there just, I seen the dude come in there and crank it 10 times. I'm just like, my man, 50 grand, you that dude. I'm not there yet. But I can at least do it twice, at this stage. Yeah, so she was serving attitude, and it was unnecessary, and I lost it. I told her, I said, I'm gonna smack the, like, now you, little. She's like, do it, talking all the junk, and then the boys came out, and they were just like, oh shit, we gonna have to stop this big dude. But me and them did not make contact other than the guy tapping me on my shoulder. because I wasn't there to fight with anyone. I simply wanted to get my back done because I'm in pain all the time. And I just made the same request that I make every time I come in there, because you changed the rules. And now you're trying to give me attitude. And I was just in here the day before. I was just here. And all of a sudden you're a manager. Now you're making up something new for resistance. And they got the nerve to be messed up saying it. Like I don't even know you. Like, I don't know you. You want, and I was like, you got a lot of energy. And like, young lady, like, what? It's like, what did I do? What the freak did I do? And she just kept coming back, and I was just like, screw it, let's go. So yeah, if you guys find yourself ready to lose it, and this is happening to you more and more often, it's a good chance that something mentally is getting to you, and you might want to see somebody about it. I got diagnosed last year, and by a military doctor, and I already knew that something was up. I knew I had some issues. I knew it because of the way I live. I don't necessarily like you can go to the club now, okay? You can go out now. You can go and visit people and do stuff with people. But it doesn't hurt me when somebody doesn't want to do something with me. I haven't, like when I don't have contact with people, I'm not fazed by it. Okay, here's one thing I noticed. Okay, West Virginia. West Virginia is now offering people $12,000 to move there. They are the only state that does not have more people living there than they did last year. There is a declining population in West Virginia, and they're like, we need to do something about this. So they're offering a financial incentive to come move there, and they're offering a $20,000 package to where you can get a lot of things for free just because you moved there. Now, some people are going to move there and then leave. I'm sure there's some kind of clause in there. If you leave after a year, then you're going to end up in court somewhere. Some people are still going to do it. But nonetheless, $12,000, that's a come up. That's a lot of money. And I don't know anything about West V. I've been through it before, but a lot of mountains and stuff like that. I could see myself doing it. The isolation doesn't bother me. It just doesn't. It probably would favor me, actually. Because I'm not really stricken to any area. You know what I'm saying? I don't work for anyone. And everything that I do, I can do somewhere else, pretty much. But living in the city does benefit me, especially when you're messing with appliances. But they kind of cover some of that because they're giving you money to move there. $12,000 is a lot of money to me, and you guys already know what I'm going to do with it. You hand me $12,000, what am I going to do with it? Boom, it's going to go right into a robo account. Because I don't need $12,000 right now, but I'll take it. And I'm just going to go put it into my bank account and then put it right into a robo account and let that money make money. That's what I'm going to do. And eventually, live off dividends once I get up into, that takes, you gotta have more than $12,000 if you're going to live off of dividends. Actually, you got to have around $112,000 if you want to live off of dividends. But that's another video. But nonetheless, that's what I'm working towards, living off of dividends. So yeah, It's something that's attractive to me. I might consider it. I know I'll be sorely outnumbered when it comes to my race. But, I might find a, 2, 3 bedroom flat that might be worth buying, or a ranch that might be worth buying, and get a dog. I don't necessarily need a woman, uh, but might get a German Shepherd. Yeah, get a female German Shepherd, name her Lady, and raise her, and then get her a mate, name them Rex, raise them both together, so they can have puppies and then sell them, or not sell them, just have a bunch of dogs. I mean, it just be nothing to me. I don't need a big house. If I got 2 bedrooms, I'm fine with that. Have a guest room, and then my room, of course. Right now, I'm actually sitting in one of my bedrooms. So this is what I'll do to the other bedroom. If I had a 3 bedroom, then I would make that a guest room or a storage room of some type. But I just don't need too much space. I'd like to have a garage. And what I'm saying is, me being alone for the rest of my life is not what I'm supposed to do, but it doesn't sound too bad for me. It just doesn't. I can see myself doing that. And if I move to an area like that, get away from these police because the police are doing crazy stuff, that's another thing that'll stress you out. I mean, one guy got killed recently for walking across the street. It was jaywalking. It's just happened about a week ago. So many people have died by the police hand within the last week or the last 2 weeks that we can't keep up with the stories. And they're all black people. All black people. From age 13, which just happened a couple days ago, all the way up to George Floyd, last year. But I mean, they're killing us, and I mean, they're just murdering us. And we're not going to get any justice. We can't win if we go to war. The marching isn't doing anything. You're waiting on the Department of Justice to fix anything. So it's time to find a quiet place where there's not a lot of crazy police. You could deal with a good sheriff. Yeah. Just get your shotgun and your dog and your iced tea and live out your life. That sounds like something I want to do, because I don't want them ending my life and going on vacation and laughing after they killed me. So I need to do something. Anyway, if you have PTSD, you guys need to do something about that, because you can get help. And you should get help. It's your boy Tom 202. God loves you, so do I.